For years, Windows has been the default choice for millions of people around the world. It came pre-installed on most laptops and desktops. It was familiar. And for a long time it felt like the only serious option for work, gaming, and everyday computing. But something interesting has been happening quietly in the background. Without dramatic announcements or mass protests, a growing number of Windows users are slowly, almost invisibly, switching away. They're not always talking about it on social media, and they're not necessarily deleting Windows forever in one dramatic move. Instead, they're experimenting, dual booting, moving their daily tasks elsewhere, and realizing something important: they don't actually need Windows anymore. And once that realization hits, it's very hard to unsee. The first crack in the foundation for many users comes from frustration rather than curiosity. Windows updates, once a minor annoyance, have become a constant source of disruption. Updates that restart systems at the worst possible moment. Features that change without asking. Settings that move around or reset themselves. And background processes that slow down, even powerful machines. For casual users, this feels annoying. For professionals, students, developers, and creators, it feels disrespectful of their time. People begin to feel like they don't fully control their own computers anymore. The operating system they rely on starts to feel less like a tool and more like a manager making decisions on their behalf. Then there's performance. Many users notice that as Windows versions evolve, older hardware seems to struggle more and more. A laptop that felt fast a few years ago suddenly feels sluggish, even after a clean install. Fans spin louder, battery life drops, and simple tasks take longer than they should. Users are told the solution is to upgrade their hardware, but deep down they sense something else is wrong. They start to ask a quiet but dangerous question. Is it really my computer that's outdated, or is it the operating system that's getting heavier and more demanding? Privacy is another major turning point. Over time, Windows has become deeply connected to online accounts, cloud services, telemetry, and data collection. Many users are surprised by how much information is being sent in the background and how difficult it is to fully turn it off. Even when options exist, they're often buried in menus, scattered across settings, or reversed after updates. People begin to feel watched, measured, and monetized. For users who value privacy, or who simply don't like the idea of their operating system reporting back constantly, this becomes a serious concern. The trust relationship between user and system starts to erode. At the same time, the computing landscape itself has changed. A decade ago, many essential applications were Windows only. Today, that's no longer true. Web apps have become incredibly powerful. Browsers can handle tasks that once required heavy desktop software. Tools for writing, design, communication, collaboration, and even development run perfectly well in a browser or on multiple platforms. This reduces dependency on any single operating system. When users realize that most of what they do every day doesn't actually require Windows, the door to alternatives quietly opens. For some, that alternative is macOS. Apple's ecosystem offers stability, strong performance, and tight integration between hardware and software. Users who switch often talk about how smooth and consistent the experience feels. Laptops wake instantly, battery life is predictable, and updates rarely disrupt work. The system feels polished and intentional. But macOS isn't for everyone. It's expensive, hardware options are limited, and customization is restricted. Still, its growing popularity among former Windows users sends a clear signal. People are willing to leave Windows if the alternative feels more respectful and reliable. For others, the alternative is Linux, and this is where the quiet revolution becomes truly interesting. Linux used to be seen as complicated, unfriendly, and only for experts. That reputation lingers, but it no longer reflects reality. Modern Linux distributions are polished, visually appealing, and surprisingly easy to use. Installation has become straightforward. Hardware support has improved dramatically. Desktop environments offer familiar layouts that feel comfortable to former Windows users. For many, the first experience with Linux is a shock, not because it's hard, but because it's fast, calm, and refreshingly free of nonsense. When Windows users try Linux, often out of curiosity or frustration, they notice something almost immediately. Their old hardware feels new again. Systems boot faster. Applications launch instantly. Fans stay quiet. Battery life improves. It feels like the computer is finally working for them, instead of against them. This performance boost alone is enough to convince some people to stay. The idea that an operating system can be lightweight, efficient, and still fully capable is eye-opening. Control is another huge factor. Linux gives users real ownership over their systems. Updates happen when the user decides, not when the system demands. There are no forced reboots. No ads in the start menu. No suggested apps being installed without permission. Settings are transparent. Configuration files are accessible. Users can understand what their system is doing, and if they want to change something, they usually can. For people who felt powerless on Windows, this sense of control is deeply satisfying. The software ecosystem on Linux has also matured. There are excellent alternatives for most common Windows applications. Office work, media consumption, programming, graphic design, video editing, and even gaming are now viable on Linux. Tools like Steam and Proton have transformed gaming support, allowing thousands of Windows games to run smoothly. For many gamers, Linux is no longer a compromise, but a legitimate option. Once someone realizes they can play their favorite games, do their work, and browse the web without Windows, the question becomes unavoidable. Why go back? Another subtle but powerful reason people switch is community. Windows users are customers. Linux users are participants. There is a sense of collaboration, shared knowledge, and mutual help in the Linux world that feels very different from corporate support systems. Forums, documentation, and open discussions empower users rather than pushing them through scripted solutions. This creates a feeling of belonging and respect. People feel like they're part of something, not just consuming a product. Cost also plays a role, even if it's not always the main motivation. Windows licenses, subscription models, and hardware requirements add up. Linux is free, legally and practically. This matters for students, freelancers, small businesses, and users in regions where software costs are significant. But beyond money, the philosophy of free and open-source software resonates with people who value transparency and independence. They like knowing that the software they rely on isn't controlled by a single company whose priorities can change overnight. It's important to understand that most Windows users who switch don't do it dramatically. They don't announce it with a farewell post. They install Linux on an old laptop first. They try it in a virtual machine. They dual boot. They use it for programming, then for browsing, then for daily work. Over time, Windows becomes the secondary system. Then it becomes the backup. Then one day, they realize they haven't booted into Windows for weeks or months. The switch happens quietly, almost accidentally. Another reason this trend is hard to notice is because many people still keep Windows around for specific tasks. Maybe it's one piece of software, one game, or one work requirement. But their primary computing life has already moved elsewhere. From the outside, they're still Windows users. In reality, their habits have changed. Their loyalty has shifted. And once those habits change, it's very hard for Windows to win them back. There's also a growing sense that Windows is trying to be too many things at once. It wants to be a desktop system, a tablet system, a cloud service, an advertising platform, and an enterprise management tool. In doing so, it often feels unfocused. Features appear and disappear. Interfaces change without clear benefit. Users feel like they're constantly adapting to the system instead of the system adapting to them. This creates fatigue. People don't necessarily hate Windows. They're just tired of it. In contrast, alternatives like Linux and macOS feel more opinionated and stable. They know what they want to be. They prioritize certain values, whether that's openness, performance, or user experience. This clarity is attractive. When users feel like an operating system has a clear direction and respects their workflow, they're more likely to trust it long-term. Security is another quiet motivator. Linux's architecture, permission model, and update mechanisms reduce many common attack vectors. Malware exists, but it's far less prevalent. Users feel safer, not because they're invincible, but because the system is designed with security in mind from the ground up. For professionals handling sensitive data, this matters a lot. For everyday users, it brings peace of mind. The rise of remote work and development has also accelerated the shift. Developers, sysadmins, and tech-savvy professionals increasingly prefer Unix-like environments. Linux and macOS fit naturally into cloud workflows, server management, and modern development stacks. Windows has improved in this area, especially with tools like WSL, but for many, that improvement simply highlights the irony. The best parts of modern Windows are the parts that emulate Linux. Even creative professionals are re-evaluating their choices. Video editors, writers, musicians, and designers are discovering powerful open-source tools that meet their needs without subscription fees or lock-in. They appreciate systems that stay out of the way and let them focus on creating. When the operating system becomes invisible instead of intrusive, productivity and enjoyment increase. What's most fascinating about this shift is how calm it is. There's no dramatic collapse, no sudden mass exodus. Just a steady, quiet movement of individuals making personal decisions based on their own experiences. Each person who switches has their own story, but the patterns are remarkably consistent. Frustration, curiosity, experimentation, relief. Windows isn't going to disappear anytime soon. It still dominates in many areas, especially in corporate environments and certain industries. But dominance doesn't mean loyalty. Many users stay because they have to, not because they want to. And the moment they have a viable alternative, many are surprisingly willing to try it. This quiet switching trend says less about hatred for Windows and more about changing expectations. Users today want systems that respect their time, privacy, hardware, and intelligence. They want control. They want transparency. They want performance that doesn't demand constant upgrades. When an operating system fails to meet those expectations, people look elsewhere, even if they don't talk about it loudly. In the end, the most powerful reason Windows users are quietly switching is simple. They're discovering that computing can feel better than this. It can be calmer, faster, cleaner, and more respectful. Once someone experiences that, once they realize that their computer doesn't have to fight them every step of the way, the switch stops feeling radical and starts feeling obvious, and that's why it's happening quietly. Because for many users, it doesn't feel like a rebellion at all. It just feels like coming home.